Hey everyone, Fohammer 2003, part of TGN, back with a review of Deadpool. This review was a request from one of you guys, more specifically, Ace Champ XD. And thanks to him that I did. I may have missed this one otherwise, and it's looking pretty good, I'm both surprised and happy to say. Firstly, I just want to say that there may be a spoiler or two in here, as far as some of the comedy moments in the game goes. Just some small snippets to show you what type of game it is. Deadpool is a character from the Marvel comic books, and is a bit of an anti-hero for those who don't know. A mercenary who is disfigured and mentally not quite right. Basically, he's nuttier than squirrel shit, and his cheese has most definitely slid off his cracker. Which, as you can imagine, can make for a pretty funny experience.
Oh, you gotta love the ones that make you sweat.
Now before I go any further, if you want to know what type of game this is, then think back to Duke Nukem Forever and Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard, and how these games tried desperately to be cool and funny. Well, it's the same here, except this title actually manages to be both funny and entertaining, unlike those two titles. I was losing hope of there ever being a genuinely funny anti-hero type game, and this one certainly makes me laugh. The game incorporates what's known as fourth wall humour. What's meant by that is that this game will acknowledge you as a gamer playing the game, and incorporate you into the jokes. And unlike Duke Nukem, that at times tried this, Deadpool certainly nails it.
We may want to pay attention. This could explain a critical plot point.
The plot is quite simple. Deadpool is almost hell-bent on creating a computer game based on himself, and the story that unfolds is the adventure that spins off from that one simple concept. Where it goes from there, I will leave you to enjoy finding out. The gameplay is specifically centred around third-person melee and shoot-'em-up combat. Simple enough, which works well. On each level, you have waves of bad guys as you progress to combat and defeat, for which you'll be awarded DP points from, which you can increase via a combo system that builds these points up via a multiplier. These points can then be spent on upgrading various features for Deadpool to kick some ass with. You can buy new or upgrade existing swords, buy new or upgrade existing guns, purchase grenades, even bear traps, as well as increasing and improving Deadpool's own unique abilities. Some upgrades will also unlock unique combo sequences with which to kill your enemies to great effect. Combat is pretty spot on in the game, fast, fluid and fun to engage in. At times it can get quite frantic, and on the harder difficulties, quite a challenge. As you progress through the levels, platforming will have a large part of your progression through the levels, wall jumping and double jumping your way through the environment. Although the levels are very linear, but then you'd have to expect that in a game that is focused on showing you its comedic values at every turn. It keeps the play to laugh out loud ratio just right, so you never get tired of one or the other. Teleporting is also a useful feature at your disposal, helping you to neatly avoid dangerous environments and attacks in combat, so you can continue to rack up your combo multiplier. You just have to get the timing right, and this alone will help you upgrade Deadpool in no time. Gun usage is useful, especially with faraway targets, who for the most part will die with a single well-aimed headshot and the most satisfying ting that any Call of Duty fan I'm sure will appreciate. Although I would criticise Deadpool slightly for having slightly over-cumbersome aiming when aiming down sight, but it's a small thing and perhaps down to personal preference. The combat system, as I said before, is solid and fluid, and for the most part an enjoyable experience. You will have harder bosses during the levels, which will provide a slightly harder challenge, and once beaten, will often offer the chance to use their much larger and fun weaponry for a limited time, although you may find there will be little to use them on after you pick up the weapon at times, before a cutscene will strip you of these. But again, a small gripe. Now I will stress the adult humour of the game may not be to everyone's liking in tastes in humour, but if you can enjoy clever, well thought out, macho, sometimes toilet humour, then you should definitely get some giggles out of this title. Replay value is always hard with a game of this type, as once you've seen and heard the various jokes and scenes, then the only reason to relive the experience will be either to get your achievements you would have missed, beating the game on harder difficulties, or to show your mates. However, that said, there is a challenges section, which has a list of various tasks to complete on a gold, silver, bronze levelling system. These challenges can be fun and infuriating, and will certainly give you something to keep playing for a good while after you've completed the main campaign. On the whole, the campaign is quite short, taking around 6 or 7 hours to complete. which may seem to disappoint, but as it's quite short, the experience won't become boring, and it stops you tiring of his mannerisms and jokes. This, however, for some people, might put the game in the rental category, which would be a shame as the game really is a well-polished jewel that deserves more than that. In conclusion, the control of Deadpool in the game may feel stiff and awkward at times. Deadpool's pool of phrases when in combat may get a little overused, and the game may be quite short if you don't include the challenges outside of the main story, but the great humour, polished look and feel, great scripting, bold environments and quite comprehensive upgrade system more than make this title worth a long hard look. I've really enjoyed this game, and I might go back for another playthrough. Hope you enjoyed the review, everyone. As always, take it easy, and please rate and comment below. Even give me a little sub if you feel I deserve it. Anyway, thanks guys, bye.
Boop, beep, boop, beep.